Listen to Ward and Al, weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on Canada Talks, Sirius XM 167.
Well, we do have, and I was accused of being too serious with this line, but we do have a living legend, Canadian champion, in studio with us now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's such a pleasure and just an honor to have her with us. Please welcome to the show, Silken Laumann.
Hello.
Welcome.
And the fans go crazy.
Well, let's talk about the injury for some of our listeners who may not know. A lot of them younger. We have a lot of American listeners who maybe don't know a lot about the story. In 1992, you're training for the Olympics.
Yeah, I'm the world champion. I'm ranked first in the world, and obviously focusing on winning an Olympic gold medal. And then 10 weeks before the Olympic Games, I'm in a warm-up area in Essen, Germany, and I'm side-swiped by another boat, a men's pair, and their boat kind of collided into the side of my boat. My boat was wooden, so it shattered, driving 200 pieces of wood into my lower right leg and literally shredding the muscle, ligaments, tendons, shattering the ankle. And so, the doctor said to me, the Olympics are over. You're not going to the Olympics. You might be able to row recreationally again.
And which is where the mindset comes in. Is that mindset, is it something that you develop over time, or was part of it there and you strengthen it as you train? Or because where does that come from?
Well, I think that athletes are more determined than your average bear. They probably have a little more intensity. I talk a lot about where my intensity came from in Unsinkable. Some of it came from dysfunction. Some of it came from some real challenges in my home life. And some of it I think that, you're just born with. You're a little bit more determined. And I was in an environment that was very focused in what I was aiming for. I trained for 10 years to become the best in the world in my sport. And so in those weeks and months before the Olympics, like the world, you literally develop almost a tunnel vision. It's the first thing you think of when you get up in the morning.
We are speaking to Silken Laumann, Olympian, world champion, rower, author, public speaker. So you're injured and you can see the muscle hanging off the bone. You can see the bone through your skin. The doctor tells you you'll never row professionally again. 6 weeks later, you're in the Olympics, and you win the bronze medal. I sprained my wrist the other day and called in sick to my radio show.
Well, I'm sure it hurt.
It's that, and what is amazing about this book is that story is the tip of the iceberg in the fascinating person that is you. So to not only to be told, you'll never row competitively again. This is going to take forever to heal. And then a few weeks later, not only participate in the Olympics, because I think everyone in Canada would have been impressed had you rowed and come in last, but you medaled. That in itself is such an amazing story. That's a fairy tale ending almost to a story. And that's the beginning of the book.
Yeah, I think that was the first 50 pages.
Yeah. And then this is what I love. Listeners of the show know I love people who share their stories, who are brave enough to delve into it and put out the good, the bad, and the ugly. And you said right at the beginning, people are drawn to the truth. And I was like, bam. However, you also talked about being a little bit scared to share your story. And you cover in this book so many things that are stigmatized and taboo in this world. Therapy, moments when you questioned yourself as a mother, your own mother being hard to deal with. I can only imagine that, although I'm sure the majority of it you get very positive feedback, some people must have been very uncomfortable and angry about this book.
Yeah. So you say a little scared. I mean, I think it's accurate to say, like, I was terrified. I mean, there were so many emotions and things that I had to work through to get this book out, and not only to write it, but then to publish it, then to speak about it publicly. I had to believe that it was really important. I stand up as a Canadian, as somebody who lives a public life, and I make it part of what I do to inspire and support other people, and I felt that the person that I was putting forward, especially in the last few years as I've understood myself more deeply, that person did not have all the dimensions that I really had, and that it wasn't really going to inspire and encourage other people if I wasn't also sharing those deeper struggles. And that I had to decide to be vulnerable. I had to decide to tell it like it was. And it wasn't just my life. It was my life in my family. So it was going to affect other people. And of course, in the writing process, I'm thinking about that. And I'm thinking, just as you said, about people's responses to it. And in order to publish this book, to put it out there in the way that I have, I mean, I guess at some level I had to let go. I had to let go of worrying about what other people were going to think.
Mm-hmm.
This is Canada Talks on Sirius XM, a voice from north of the border. Sirius XM 167.